What's going on, world, and welcome to day 1 of the Hormozi Experiment. Day 2, day 3, it's day 5, day 6, day 7, day 9, day 11, day 12, day 14, day 15, day 17, day 21, day 29, day 34 is day 41, day 43. Today is the last day of this crazy 6-week bulking program.
They said it wasn't possible. They said there's no way you can gain 35 pounds in 6 weeks. They said Alex Hormozi was on steroids. They said, Peter, Hungarian experiment, you're just going to get fat if you take on this experiment. If you eat 800 grams of carbs per day, you're just going to get fat. Well, I don't know what to say, world. Just showed you the transformation video there. In this live stream, what we're going to do is we're going to break down these photos from this experiment. As you can see here, in 6 weeks, I was able to gain 27 pounds naturally. Now, was that all muscle? I think that's a question that we have to draw here. Obviously, I put on some fat. Before we dive into these photos, before we heavily analyze these transformation photos from this crazy 6-week bulking experiment, I have a few caveats that I want to bring up. But before I dive into even those caveats, I have to say, I think this is what we call a game changer, guys. I truly believe this is going to change the way the next generation looks at putting on muscle and muscle growth and bulking. If I would have known in my high school years when I was all about, summertime off from school, I was getting ready to play football, I was bulking, but I was eating just whatever I could because that's what I was told. If you want to be big, you got to eat big, you got to lift big. And to be honest, I think it helped me build a solid foundation when I was in high school. But if I would have known this, what I think is a hack, I think this is a hack to gaining muscle fast. And obviously, it's not easy. There's a whole lot of work. I was working out 2 times a day. If you guys followed along the experiment, go check out the description box below if you're new to this experiment. But for 6 weeks, I was eating 800 grams of carbs a day, and I was working out 2 times a day, 6 days a week. And that morning workout, the AM workout, is the same thing each day, 5 to 7 sets of 7 reps of bench press and 7 sets of 25 reps of leg press. So every single, for 3 days, I'm doing 175 reps every single day for 3 days, taking 1 day rest, and then doing it for another 3-day cycle, all while doing a PM workout. So in general, again, we're going to hop into these photos because to me, this is insane. Being able to gain 27 pounds naturally, I think there's something crazy going on here. And this is all based off a scientific study that Alex Hormozi broke down in his article. So if you guys are interested, again, everything's in the description box below. I broke down Alex Hormozi's article on the whole programming, the food intake, everything. I was very detailed with this, guys, because I wanted to show that I think this is legit. I did this a year and a half, 2 years prior. And to be honest, I think I'm going to do this again next year. I'm natural, 35 years old, and well, turning 35 next year. And I can't believe, I feel like I gained 6 months worth of muscle in just 6 weeks. So again, here in this video, we're going to dive specifically into these transformation photos. We're going to go over things like, look at my chest. I believe you can clearly see muscle growth in regards to my chest, in regards to my quads. We're going to go through all these pictures here. We're going to analyze these because I know the video that I shared with you, things fly through pretty quickly. And I believe this experiment deserves having a heavy breakdown from this. Now, if you guys follow along the experiment, I didn't get blood work done or anything like that. So one of the biggest things that we're going to be able to draw conclusions from is looking at my physique before and then looking at my physique after, and then looking at my physique once I return myself back down to this body weight of 181.8 pounds. Right now, I'm about halfway there between. I woke up this morning at about 194 pounds. I was fluctuating around that this morning. So I'm about halfway between this right now. And honestly, like I'm obviously not lean right now, but I'm getting a lot closer to this leanness looking. And I still have about 13 pounds that I need to cut off to get to that body weight. So I believe I'm going to be a lot leaner when I get to 181 because I believe I put on some significant muscle growth in this 6-week period. Now, again, before we get into this, I really appreciate everyone who followed along this journey, who supported this crazy experiment. I couldn't have done this without you guys. So truly appreciate having you guys along the journey. It was not easy. This was more of a mental than a physical challenge, in my opinion. Obviously, it was physically demanding, having to ingest 800 grams of carbs a day. It's physically tolling on the body, and working out 2 times a day. And again, doing 175 reps of leg press every single day, basically, and then going up 50 pounds every new 3-day cycle throughout this program. It was physically taxing, but the mental, like this was more of a mental game, in my opinion, than anything. So all in all, I want to cover here that I do not recommend anyone do this. I've said it from the beginning. I don't believe anyone should do this. But if you're crazy like me, if you're a person who regularly pushes themselves to the limits and you have been lifting in the gym for a significant period of time, I'm talking at least like 5 years, hopefully around 10 years, and you're starting to plateau, you're starting to see, like, not see results, and maybe you're truly questioning going on some juice. Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I've been doing this for a while, not seeing any crazy results. I'm hitting my natural limit. That's bullshit. You're just not working hard enough, that's for sure. But I believe that this may be something you should question before you even question steroids. And what I would love to see potentially change in the world is a lot of these young dudes who are now out there on social media just hopping on HGH, just hopping on trend, just hopping on all this stuff. If maybe they push themselves towards doing this first and seeing the results that they can get in a short period of time without having to do this stuff and maybe waiting a little bit longer in their life, I think this is going to have, you know, if this garners enough attention and we can get it out there to the world and other people can mimic and copy this and find similar results, which I think they will, I do believe this is going to really change the industry in many ways. But 3 caveats before I want to dive into these photos. So firstly, I am not like a bodybuilder. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy lifting. I enjoy when I go to the gym that I know I'm getting results and I can see the results on my body. But I have no intentions of going to stand up on a stage. I don't pose in front of a mirror regularly. So there's one thing you guys got to consider here. Like, I'm doing my best with these photos. I took these photos by myself. I tried to take them in the same positions with the same type of lighting, but photos can be, manipulating. Just slightly changing the angle. I've seen transformations where dudes in 3 minutes, they can get a quick pump. They could just slightly change the angle and then suck in a little bit, and they look drastically different. I think people see it with women all the time. They're wearing like the Lulu pants and they're covering up their tummy a little bit and they look really thin, and then they take it down. There's a little bit of difference, right? So I think it's very easy to manipulate photos. And again, I did my best here to be as real as possible. That's all I'm here to do, is share and be as honest and open and transparent as possible. There's no incentive for me to lie to you guys here. So, but you do have to take my word for it. So that's just one thing. So one of the big caveats there, again, photos can be manipulated. You got to take it for what it is. Number two, sorry, let me just pull up my notes here because I am missing some of the things I wanted to cover on here. If I can even find it. Yes. Sorry, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. But I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are. If you've been following along this experiment, do you see noticeable muscle growth on my body? I know it's been a while since these last photos here, but I believe I can see it. So again, the first thing that I wanted to cover here is photos can be deceiving. I did my best to take similar photos in the before and after and stand in the same places, as you can see here. But, I did my best. I'm not a bodybuilder, so you guys just got to understand that. The second caveat you guys got to understand here is I gained 27 pounds in 6 weeks. So obviously, I'm going to look leaner on the first photos compared to the second photos. And some people who maybe to an untrained eye see leaner or more ripped as bigger. And I can completely understand that if that's what you see here. I'm not trying to say you see things wrong. I'm just trying to say, you got to understand this was 6 weeks and there's 27-pound difference. But along with that too, and what we're going to cover here, it's pretty crazy how I still, have kind of obliques going on here. You can still see a little bit of obliques and a little bit of abs for being up 27 pounds. So again, a lot of people were saying, oh, bro, you're just going to get fat on this program. Did I get fat? I obviously gained some fat. You can notice some fat on me, and we're going to cover this in a sec. But did I just get fat on this, or did I gain some muscle? And is this legit? I'd love to know what you guys think. And again, number 3 is this is just 6 weeks, guys. To see any noticeable muscle growth in 6 weeks on someone who's been training for over 10 years, I think it's crazy. I'm 34 years old. I'm turning 35 in less than 6 months. To see noticeable muscle increase in just 6 weeks, I think is ridiculous in many opinions. You'd be like, there's no way. Oh, no way you're going to see results. And again, we're going to click through the photos here. You're going to see, you can see as, we got Naomi in the chat. What's up, Naomi? She said, your quads definitely look larger. And again, I'm excited to dive in these photos a little bit bigger here, but I also see the roundness of my glutes. I feel like my glutes blew up. I feel like my chest, which is a little hard to see in some of these shots and some of these angles, but look at my quads here compared to there. To me, it's just a drastic difference. So again, before we got into that, I just want to cover those 3 caveats here. So photos can be deceiving, so just take it for what it is. 2, I gained 27 pounds. So, if you see leanness and rippedness as bigger, then I can't fight you on that. It's just how you look at muscle. And again, to see any kind of muscle, guys, if we're seeing any kind of muscle growth in 6 weeks, I think this is legitimate in some way. So when you see how much, I think it's pretty crazy. So let's dive into these results. I appreciate having you guys in here. We got a couple people in the chat, in the live. We got Chaz, we got Naomi, and let's dive into the results here. So this was the first kind of photo and reveal that I showed from the transformation. And again, I did my best here. As you can see, the angle, I think, is pretty good. I got the background shots. I did my best to get it in shot and in angle. But as you can see here, I was 181.8 pounds when I took these photos. And this is me carbed up as well, too. I ate like, I think 4 donuts or 6 donuts the hour before these photos to try to fill myself up so I could look veiny and full, because, you know, I was leaning down for a good month and a half before this and I was feeling kind of flat. So even here on 6 donuts, I'm 181.8 pounds. And then fast forward 6 weeks, guys, 42 days. That's not a long time. I am now up 208.8 pounds, or I'm up to 208.8 pounds, which is a 27-pound difference. And again, as I was alluding to earlier, I still got obliques. How the hell am I up 27 pounds and I still have abs? I still have obliques. I wouldn't call this a 6-pack. And, you know, if I were to stop working out, which I'll cover in a future videos, that I did go on a trip and a vacation. I stopped working out for a few weeks to about a month, and things did change after that, which we'll, again, cover in another video. But, like, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Can we have some vote in the chat here? Like, if you're watching, do you see muscle growth or no? Again, I see muscle growth. I see a crazy change in regards to my chest. I know my hand placement is a little bit different, but chest-wise, I can see major growth here, like all in the upper chest, even kind of in the lower chest here. Like you can see, it's like it's almost more cupped. Like it's more full. It's like holding together more because it's, I don't know. I worked it out so much over these weeks. And then again, the big thing here, most of this stuff was chest for the bench press and legs and on all the leg press. And again, I know my shorts are not pulled up as they are here. Apologize for any, goodies that you're seeing there, but the size of the quads to me there's a clear difference here. There's a significant difference in just 6 weeks. Along with that too, the traps, the shoulders, like, again, I know my hand placement is a little, is different in these, but to me, clear difference. I would say is this a 6-month transformation difference? Is this a 1-year transformation difference? I don't know, but this was only 6 weeks, guys. So moving on here, we're going to go to a side shot. The reason I chose this was because when I first took these transformation photos, like on day 1, this was one of the best poses that I ended up getting. Again, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't pose regularly. Probably didn't pose for like 3 years before this, like taking any actual like posing photos. So it's actually hard to pose. If you don't pose and hold these positions regularly, it's actually like hard and stressful on the muscles. But anyways, as you can see here, I'm definitely bigger in regards to fatness. You can see fat has acquired on my body, but I wouldn't say almost 30 pounds worth of fat. Like, I still look full in regards to my muscles. I still got some veinage going on. And everything else besides there looks like, again, I put on fat, but I look bulkier. Like, to me, I look thicker. I look thicker here, which, you know, I don't want a thick waist generally, but my legs are like, I look thicker. I look sturdier. Here, I look like I'm like lean and kind of scrawny, like almost like, again, I don't see like GQ model or anything, but like kind of like what like you would see on like a magazine cover or something. And then this is what you would see like of a bodybuilder, like someone who's like firm and like planted. And again, this is just 42 days, a month and a half difference. And like look at what I was talking about before this experiment was the juiciness of my glutes. I wanted to build some juicier glutes. So I apologize for kind of zooming in here on the crotch shot, but like the fullness of my glutes here. And this was a weakness of mine for many years that I've really been working on. And if you guys have been following along the channel prior to my hiatus, I was talking about how my glutes and my legs were a weak point and I was working on building them up. But look at the fullness there compared to here. And again, this is just 42 days of basically spamming the leg press, just going to the gym in the morning after smashing a big ass bowl of mini wheats and spamming bench press and leg press, and then coming home and smashing a giant bowl of pasta. And then the rest of the day is like a normal day of working out and a normal day of eating. But yeah, I see a complete difference. Appreciate we got Naomi in the chat here saying definitely your traps look rounder too. Appreciate that. For sure thicker, but not fat. Appreciate the sentiment there. I like that's what I see. And again, it's hard, like it's very egotistical what I'm doing right now. Like I'm judging myself and trying to justify that this worked, even though like I'm trying to be, real and honest about it. But yeah, we got Jalen. I hope I'm saying that right. Jalen Jones in the chat says the cut will be immaculate. LOL. Yeah, bro. I'm halfway through it. I'm about 194 this morning. So about halfway through the cut, another month and a half. And then we'll see what happens here. If I can look like this again or bigger. So moving on, we're going to move to the, again, I don't know what these poses are called, guys. But here, let's first start at the quads. Like, look at the legs, guys. I'm going to zoom in on the crotch shot here again, so I apologize. But, like, look at the quads, man. Look at here, and then look at here. In just 42 days. Like, that's crazy. Not too much up here to see. Again, it was only 42 days. I'm not seeing much in the back. There wasn't much back exercises as part of this. When I go to do this experiment again, I think I'm going to include some more back stuff because I want to get some wings growing here. But here I wanted to share this photo because in my opinion, the quads, like it's just a drastic difference. Yeah, I should I should have put an emoji over the crotch shot. Yeah. Oh, well. Got to do what you got to do. And then here's a back shot. Again, as I just mentioned, the back, I don't think there's too many crazy results. I think here where you can actually see like more fatness come on my body. Like I hold it a bit more in my back. It's not as lean here. But again, there wasn't a ton of back stuff. There was one back day that was part of this. And it wasn't like crazy. It was part of chest day as well too. So here, again, what I feel is the glutes. Here, I tried to make sure I was squeezing my glutes in both these photos. And here you can see, again, we're going to zoom in. There's no emoji over the butt crack for you guys. But here you can see I'm squeezing my glutes. And then look at look where my glutes kind of come in here. And I'm missing kind of muscle there. I don't have like glutes there. But when you come here, like you see it filling out now. So again, in 6 weeks, I feel like I got 6 months of results. It doesn't look like a lot, but we got to still consider, guys, this was only 6 weeks. So if you're just joining the stream right now, I hope you guys are enjoying just this ass shot for you guys. But here we are on the Hormozi transformation photos. And we're going to look at... So we got a great question about tendinitis with the high frequency. We're going to cover that right after this. And I will cover that in future videos as well too. But we're just going to continue on with these results and then I'll answer any questions in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in there. But here's where I think you can see the glutes very well. And also like my framing and my body posture. Again, I don't do these poses, so I'm not in the exact same pose exactly. But here you can see like just my frame in general, like I'm more firm and more sturdy. And it's all because my base, and I covered this in some of my videos, like around day 20, 25, I think. I was saying I feel like my posture was changing. I feel like my stance and my gait and the way I was walking was changing and adapting to how much like leg press I was doing. And if you can see it, like my legs changed, guys. Like here, and again, the pose isn't exactly the same. I know. But like, we're going to do some more ass zooming in here, guys. But here, like, let's look at the right cheek. We're going to look at the right cheek first. That one's pretty firm and pretty like in the same spot. Like, look at how much more lift my right cheek has compared to the previous. I can't even say this without laughing right now. But there's just a lot more glute activation there. Like, it's up. It's firm. It's holding up. And then if we look at the left cheek as well too, the same thing. It's firm up here. I still have a lot of glutage to grow. Like here is where my glutes basically stop. And, you know, some dudes like, and women as well too, of course, but like they got like all that is filled out. And that's what I've been wanting to work on. And what I really wanted to see was going to happen with this experiment, because I knew I had work to go. And I knew from doing this previously, like back in 2022, that I had great results. So, but look at the difference. Look at the quads as well too. Like there is difference. I think this is legit, guys. I think this is going to change the game. And again, I don't want to recommend other people to do this, because I don't think this is for the average person. This is not for the person who's like, oh my God, I've been working out for 6 months and now I want to go take testosterone and I want to hop on whatever the fuck I can do. No, I don't think so. I believe what I did was not healthy. I had gut rot many days, but I also believe the body's highly adaptable. I think 6 weeks, eating 800 grams of carbs a day, waking up, smashing a giant bowl of mini wheats, going to the gym, coming back, smashing a big bowl of pasta, then going back to the gym again, then smashing like 2 burritos, and then smashing a giant bowl of oatmeal at the end of the night. Like that's taxing on your digestive system. And it honestly messed me up. The couple of weeks to a month after, I tried to fast. I tried to hop into things. Like we're going to cover this in a separate video, the like negatives from this, but it wasn't fun. So I truly think like this is for the person who's dedicated, who's been working out for a long time. They're hitting that plateau and they truly want to see some results. So we're going to cover some questions here in the chat. We got lots of great stuff coming in. We're going to start just with the first one that kind of popped in here last. Did it like I was having night sweats. I was waking up in the middle of the night. It wasn't fun. I found it very hard to breathe. I was congested every day. Like I woke up like stuffed. Even though I was doing my best to wear the mouth tape and stuff like that, there were some days where I couldn't wear the mouth tape. I just couldn't breathe through my nose because it's so congested. But yes, it definitely messed up with my sleep. We have Medi. I hope I'm saying that right. Medi asks, how do you prevent tendonitis with so high frequency and volume? That was one of my questions too. When I first saw this program by Alex Hormozi and I was reading it, I was like, man, first off, how not even just like physically breaking down the body, but how can I just do this much reps day after day after day and not just be physically exhausted and not be able to not do it? You know what I mean? Like there's some days you do a hard workout and you're like, oh my God, I can't walk for 2 days. I thought after doing 175 pounds of leg press for 3 days in a row, and then doing that again for another 3 days in a row and another 3 days in a row, like when is my body going to tap out here? But I think there's something unique going on with the carbs. When you are, and again, there's a scientific study in the description box below, or a video that I did breaking down the scientific study that shows that if you eat in a high surplus, a high caloric surplus, but that caloric surplus is low in fat, so it's mainly high carbohydrates and protein, that there's a significant increase in regards to muscle growth that occurred with the people that got conducted on the study. Then Alex Hormozi did it, and now I've done it. And again, I think there's some craziness here. This needs to be repeated and repeated and repeated again. But I think beyond that study, there's more that's going on in regards to recovery with the carbohydrates. I think it's more than just like the muscle growth that's going on. There's like, I felt so good. I woke up, every time I was waking up and going to the gym and getting ready to go, besides when I was feeling like tired and lethargic and after eating, like for the most part, I couldn't believe how great I felt and how, day 5, day 12, day 15, day 20, day 25, day 40. And I'm like, how am I like, I want to be done this program now, but like, how am I still doing this? How am I still physically capable? So one is just, how am I able to not like experience overtraining or muscle fatigue? And then 2, as you're mentioning there, I don't know about the tendonitis and that type of stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm just some crazy Hungarian dude on the internet who's conducting fringe experiments on himself and sharing it with the world. But I think there's more than just the muscle growth that's going on here. So we got a good question from Feb. Feb says, would this program be pointless for someone who's already skinny? Obviously, I wouldn't need the 800 grams of carbs compared to someone who's already big, considering trying this program or super squats. So again, the way I'm always going to take this going forward is I don't recommend anyone do this. This is not just for the average person who just wants to get some results in the gym. This is for the person who's, in my opinion, been lifting for at least 5 to 10 years, who is hitting that wall. They've already done so much. They're getting, you're improving your workout routines. You're focusing on your form. You've been doing all this for years, and you're starting to hit plateaus in regards to, man, I can't correct my form anymore. My technique is on point. I'm doing, strength training programs, and it feels just so slow. I think there is something to this. Now, for someone who's already skinny, again, if you've been lifting for 5 to 10 years and you're doing this properly, you're in the gym and you're ready to take something on like this, I think you'd already be at some type of an athletic build. You already have some muscular growth. I think you need a base to help put more on, not just to build your base. For myself, going back on my YouTube channel, if you guys go back to like 2016, 2017, I was working out hard for over like 10 years before that almost. And then I realized once I finally cut all the fat off my body, I struggled throughout my teens and 20s to get like lean. And then I discovered intermittent fasting in my early 20s, and I finally got lean. I finally got abs. And when I finally got lean and abs, I realized like, my body, and you guys can see right now, my body is not symmetrical. And because of that, because I have an asymmetrical body, I have weak points because I was going into the gym and just doing what people told me. Lift hard, bro. Don't just go in there, work hard, work out hard. And I worked out hard for 10 years, but didn't concern myself with form, proper technique, and all that stuff. And when I finally shredded it off, I had, a big back and good shoulders, but like no chest. And I had like no glute development, but like good hamstrings. I had all these weak points because there were aspects of my body that were able to easily overcome. Like my back just dominated over my chest lifts. So if I was at that age and I took this experiment on and I went hard as fuck and did it the improper way, maybe I wouldn't get the proper results, or maybe it would actually hinder me. So again, I think there's a lot of caveats to this. I want this to be sexy for everyone out there who's like, yeah, this is a quick and easy way to gain muscle. Yes, I truly think it is. I think this is a hack. But for someone who's actually, experienced in the gym, who has some results and is ready to take it to the next level. Again, you have to eat 800 grams of carbs per day for 42 days. You have to go to the gym 2 times a day. You're working out for about 3 hours a day. Just the work behind it is enough, let alone like you have to keep pushing yourself an extra 50 pounds on the leg press each time. So you got to truly be ready to take this on if you think that's true, if you want to. So Naomi here says, it's very rare for anyone's body to be symmetrical, but there are ways to compensate for that. Yeah, 100%. I think most people's faces, right, like are not symmetrical. I know mine isn't. But for myself, and right now I'm not lean, but actually, let's go look at my photos. You can see in my rib cage, and I've shared this previously. But when I hit the stomach vacuum, you can really see it. But my rib cage is really lopsided, and that affects my upper body's development. Like my left side and right side is slightly lopsided compared to each other. So when I'm hitting things like bench press, I have to consider how I'm hitting that differently and really go through the form and technique versus someone who just has like their shoulders proper. Like if you look at my body here, if I press, like it's not the same. So for me, when I was just going for 10 years, not thinking about it and doing it, like I I developed weak points and certain areas overtook my body. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I truly appreciate you joining here for the Hormozi experiment to analyze and deep dive on these transformation photos. I think we got one more question that came in here, so we'll answer that for the last question. But here are the final results, guys. After 42 days of eating 800 grams of carbs and working out 2 times a day, I gained 27 pounds. And guys, I don't think Alex Hormozi was on steroids when he did his program. I believe he was being true. If you stay tuned for an upcoming video where I, cover my results and Alex Hormozi's results and I actually compare them together, you're going to see that, from my understanding, he was detrained leading up to this. So he gained 35 pounds in the 6 weeks, which is a lot. Like when you actually calculate how much I gained, 27 pounds in 42 days, guys, that's like 0.65 of a pound every day. I gained more than half a pound every day. So if he gained 35 pounds, that means he gained like 0.8 of a pound every day. Excuse me. But he was also, from my understanding, detrained before this. I was working out hard for like 2 months, 3 months before this to prepare for this and lean down for it. So if I wasn't working out, if I let my body get flat as well too for like a month or two, then took on this experiment, I bet my body would inflate and blow up. And I bet I wouldn't have been at 181 here. I probably would have been lighter, right? So I'm very excited to continue to share this experiment with the world. And if you guys think this is legit, I'd love to know. If you're watching this later, leave a comment in the comment section below. But we're going to end off with Jalen's question here. He said, what's your height and how long have you been training? Do you think you could get similar results with multiple rounds of this protocol? I've been working out 5 years, maybe 15% at 175 pounds. So I'm 5'9". As you can see from this photo, right? 181 pounds. And I still have like fat on me here, like on my sides. I bet I could lean down to like 170 and I'd be cut. I bet I could get to 165 and that's when I'd be like ripped and shredded. So my goal in the new year is to actually try to lean down a bit. I want to get into the like 170s to see, because again, if I get down to 180 and I'm full of muscle here and I gain 2 or 3 pounds of muscle, which I honestly think something happened here, but I'd be up here, right? And look leaner at 181 pounds. So to answer the next part of your question, do you think you could get similar results with multiple rounds of this protocol? So that's what I'm going to cover in a future video here is like, dude, after the 6-week program, like I could have kept working out and stayed on a program, but like, dude, I was so sick of the gym. I was just done. I was done with the gym. I took a month off from the gym because I was just fed up I was just done with it. I went on a trip and vacation. I took a train ride out to BC and visited my grandparents and my aunt, and we toured around British Columbia, and I couldn't go to the gym. Then when I came back, like I went through a little mental funk and I didn't go to the gym for about a month. So like I think like, I don't know if you could do this protocol like 3 times a year. I think it's too taxing on the human body. I think 1 to 2 times a year. And especially like if I was in my mid 20s again, and I was doing this 1 to 2 times a year, like I just made an Instagram post talking about this, then I truly believe my physique would be in such a different place. I would have crazy results if I would have known about this in my early 20s. Like, so if you're crazy like me, if you're like one of these dudes, I was part of the football team in the summer. That's all we did and all we cared about. It was in the summers in high school. How big can we get? So this is the one thing I'll just share here from Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go give it a follow. But someone asked, it says, you're happy with it, eh? I said, I think this is the new way to bulk. If I would have known this in my high school days when I was bulking and just eating everything that I could versus being cognizant and still getting to indulge, but only on carbs and not on fat, I honestly bet this would have had a huge difference on my physique long term. Going hard as fuck. So this answers your question here, Jalen, if you're, crazy like I am. going hard as fuck for 6 weeks, 1 or 2 times a year, starting at the age of like even like 18, 17, I can only imagine where I would be today if I was doing this once or twice a year. So imagine the next generation, imagine the next Jalen's, imagine the next you guys, even though I don't recommend you do this. But if you are crazy like me and you did this, I truly believe this is a hack. And this is going to start getting some attention very soon. So truly appreciate everyone who was in the chat here and joined during the live stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. And I'm back. So get ready. 2025, we're going to be taking over. We got some crazy stuff for 2025. I can't believe this program actually worked, guys. 27 pounds in 6 weeks. I think I'm going to do this again in 2025. And I think I'm going to go find a doctor who's going to help me document and track all the results. And we're going to take this to the next level, guys. We're going to get all the scientific testing done and we're going to go ham. First, I'm going to lean down so you can see the results. And then we're going to do this again. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Hungarian Experiment, and I'll see you in the next one.